Now turn up.
Do you want this? We are giving this away. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is going to be soon here, I'm just going to be shipping that to one of you subscribers. And so we are going to be doing a rookie ranking show. I haven't done rookie rankings in forever. Well, I haven't talked about them. We've been talking about trades. We've been talking about kind of what to do because we haven't really gotten into preseason yet, which, preseason's going to be here soon, but then the end of summer, which kind of sucks. But anyways, so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe so we hit that 1,000. Maybe I can do a live video or two. I can't do live videos until we hit 1,000. So, all right. Rookie rankings. We're going to do one QB and Superflex kind of all into one because why not, right? We're going to start with one QB because it's just kind of simpler, I guess you could say. It's a simpler world. One QB I believe personally that the three running backs should go 101, 102, 103. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I think that the best players available. I think that the running back is the thinnest position in the 2021 draft. By far, I think so. You could say tight end kind of as well, but running backs 1 through 3 I think are awesome. I think 4 and 5 are okay, and then 6 and on, it's rough. It is really rough, and you may not get a running back that does any production at that level. So 101, Najee Harris. I have really 101, 102, 103 kind of in a tier. They're kind of all close to each other. Najee Harris, Javonte Williams 102, Travis Etienne 103. I think they all should be the 101, 102, 103 unless you have a pick like 102 and 104. And then in that case, I would pick somebody like Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts into that sphere because then you can just grab your running back at 104. Same if you have to know that if a wide receiver is going to go like 103, like Jamar Chase, and you can have picks 102, 105, you can do the same type of strategy. Grab whatever player you want at 102, and then you can grab, if it's a non-running back, then you grab running back at 105. But that is riskier, very risky. So 101, Najee Harris, 102, Javonte Williams, super close, 103, Travis Etienne. I think they're all going to be good running backs, and they're all back-to-back in my Dynasty overall rankings. Which, if you have not, or if you want to get access to them, they are in Patreon. So, you gotta donate money to Patreon. I'm sorry. Yep, you just gotta do it. We actually have giveaways on Patreon too. We're gonna be doing bigger and better giveaways on the Patreon channel because I want to donate half that money back to you guys. So, I mean, you're only really paying half potentially, or maybe nothing because you might win. 104, 104, 105 are really close together. It's Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith. Minimum amount, it's like really close. Into that kind of sphere too is Kyle Pitts and Jalen Waddle. If you said Jalen Waddle 104, I might get a little tiny glare because I'm like, I think he's like my 1C in that situation. But really, you could say Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase are back and forth. Like they are so close to each other. I think Devontae Smith is, yes, slightly more talented. But and that is slightly, like we were talking thin margins. And I think Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow is in a perfect situation there. And the Eagles situation, not necessarily a perfect situation. Especially with Jalen Hurts, that is not a great thrower by any means. But Kyle Pitts, if you want to throw Kyle Pitts in there as well, I would easily be okay with that. Kyle Pitts is he could be literally anywhere from like 102-ish if you have another mid to late pick. Or if you really, really desperately need a tight end. All the way down to like 107, which he won't go. He won't go there anymore. There was chances where I had a huge tight end need at 107 in the league, and I'm trying to do 107 plus something to move up because I desperately need a tight end, and I think Kyle Pitts can be that guy. Do I think he's going to be amazing in 2021? Maybe. I think he'll be a tight end 6, 7 around there, but I think his tight end 1 opportunity, overall, in 2022, 3 for sure, 24, that area is going to be a higher chance than anybody else by far. So you kind of get the gist of, what is that, 104, 5, 6, 7. Now we have 108. We have Trevor Lawrence there. I think Trevor Lawrence and these other wide receivers they're both Moores. This is kind of that kind of area for them. And then you have, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown's in there. Amari Rodgers is in there with the Trey Sermons and the Michael Carters, kind of into that sphere. Again, that's very general rankings. I have the exact rankings, again, on Patreon. So that's just kind of the first round in a nutshell. And then we have more wide receivers, and then we have the Pat Freiermuths and the tier 2 quarterbacks. That's just, and the tier 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion, are in order: Fields, Lance, Wilson. Very close. They're super close. Because we're going to go through the quarterbacks right now. In Superflex, 101, 102, 103, 104. Well, Trevor Lawrence is 101. So that's kind of erase that off the board. That's easy. 2 through 4, in majority of cases, are going to be your quarterbacks, Fields, Lance, and Wilson, in that order. If you usually you desperately need a quarterback if you're in that position. If not, if you really need a running back, then I'm okay with taking a Najee Harris or a Javonte Williams or Travis Etienne. But again, everything just moves back in Superflex. So like those guys are now 105, 106, 107. Kyle Pitts is still in there, like 108, 109, 110, somewhere around there, which he won't, because in Superflex he's going to be drafted way higher than that. And then Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith are going to be into that. So is that, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10? Man, 10 good players. Easily. You might get Devontae Smith at like 110. And then you have Jalen Waddle at 111. And then, where's Mac Jones? Not in my first round, because I would rather have like Elijah Moore and Rondale Moore than Mac Jones, because Mac Jones' upside is just not there. And so that kind of ends my one round, if I can talk, round 1 of Superflex rankings. I guess tiebreaker, you say best available is always the best way to go. When you start reaching for need, then it gets a little tricky. Try to draft best player available, trade for need. That's what I always do in my leagues first. Like I went after, like I have Johnny Smith as my tight end 1. I have 107, and I have 2022 first. My first thing is like, how do I get a good tight end? I'm going to try to trade for the need. I'm going to try to go after Hawkinson, Fant, Dallas Goedert, even Darren Waller. All these, because I'm actually a contending team. I just got run through injuries. Like I had, it doesn't matter who I had. I had good wide receivers that got hurt, and I got like Chubb and stuff that got hurt as well. So anyways, so I have a good team, and I think I can. I'm pretty sure that I could win my division, and I'm pretty sure I can be a top 3 team. But I am missing tight end. I have a huge hole. It's Jonnu Smith, and I was really happy that Jonnu Smith went to the Patriots. And then I was like, oh, Hunter Henry, you're going to join him. That kind of sucks. I don't think this is going to be Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski 2.0. That's maybe a once in every 30 years thing, unless I don't think it's going to be that. So trade for need. So I'm trying to trade for that need, and then it just struck out. Like those guys are holding on to those tight ends way too high of an asking price. So I was like, okay, well, let's try to trade for what I believe will be the Kyle Pitts pick, which I think will be that 3 or 4. But 3 doesn't need him, but could easily draft him, and 4 needs him. So I needed to trade for 4, and that'd be a risk, or for 3. And so 2022 first plus 7, try to get to 3. We are still kind of striking out. I haven't fully struck out. The talks have just kind of dwindled. We've kind of gone to like, let's kind of wait till draft time. And draft time's here in a couple weeks. So I'm like, okay, so it's an option. And it's one of those things too. It might be one of those like, he's on the clock at 3 and I'm just like, hey, I got 7 and 22 first. What do you think? And if that doesn't work, I got maybe I throw a second in there if I'm really in a desperate need, and I'm like, I'll just take Kyle Pitts, because my team is super young too. So it's one of those teams that could compete in 2022 if Kyle Pitts is not ready for 2021. And I still have Jonnu Smith. So I still have another tight end potentially chance. So that is, again, what my brain is thinking. I'm always thinking, how can I trade for that player? Because I don't want to reach. Exactly, if I have 104 or 103, let's just say, and I really, really need a wide receiver, I'm looking, how can I fill that wide receiver spot and then draft Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams if he goes down to 103, or whatever running back that is in my order. Like that is what in that 1 QB. Or if it's super flex and I'm at 105, or even if I'm at let's say I'm at 103, and I don't need a quarter, or if I desperately need a running back and I don't want to draft Najee Harris because I really need that quarterback too, then I am looking at like, how can I fill in that spot at running back potentially if I'm in contending mode, which if you need quarterback and running back, in that case, you probably are not in contending mode, if that makes sense. All right, I know it's mumble jumble. So this is just the draft for best player available, trade for need if you can. It's not always easily doable, because when People, they like, especially running backs. Sometimes the demand is so high. Tight ends, elite tight ends, the demand is so high. It's why a lot of times wide receivers start to slowly migrate down my rankings, because honestly, there are a lot of T. Higgins, there are a lot of Brandon Ayuks, there are a lot of Deebo Samuels, and there's a lot of like those type of wide receivers, even like Kelly Galladay and Allen Robinson. Like those players are even being devalued. Cortland Sutton as well. Jerry Jeudy of last year. Little shameless plug, free jersey at 1,000 potentially for you. Like those players are just kind of being devalued, and so that's why wide receivers, like the demand is not as high. So I know if I draft him, then he either has to be a stud like Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, but if he's not, if he ends up being something less, then the demand for him is just not going to be as high, and that's going to be a big problem. The worst case scenario, I mean, I even saw like I had Rashad Penny, who didn't do anything his rookie year. Like people were still like, oh, it could be him. It could be him. Same with like Royce Freeman and Ronald Jones and all these running backs that are pretty much you could classify as busts. They still have like hope for them. They're like, oh, and this is after year one. So you're like, man, could be he didn't do well, but you can still have value. And that's a little bit different than other positions. Tight end, same thing, because Gesicki, Dallas Goedert, everyone's going, well, year 3, he's going to be a breakout. Year 4, like this is Dallas Goedert. This is Mike Gesicki. Year 4, he's going to be a breakout. There's 10 tight ends that are always breakouts, and like maybe one of them actually becomes a breakout. And so like we're hearing probably names like Knox and like Troutman. Like I like those tight ends, but it's like or even like Higbee again or Gesicki again or whatever it is, and it's like these not everyone's going to break out. All right, so I hope you got a little bit of knowledge out of that mumble jumble that I just said. So, all right, again, this is Marcus Dynasty Simple Dads. Have a good rest of your weekend. Peace out, take care, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Now turn up.